In a vast desert, a towering triangular metal structure, roughly 12 feet high, is firmly anchored in the ground. This object, referred to as the Utah Monolith, resembled an artifact from another world, its sleek metallic surfaces reflecting sunlight like a monumental prism dropped into the landscape. Analysis through Google Earth revealed that the structure had been present for approximately 4 to 5 years, remaining completely unnoticed until its sudden discovery captured public attention. The sighting of this enigmatic metal form, often likened to an otherworldly portal, raised lingering questions about its purpose, its creators, and the reasons it remained hidden in plain sight for so long. Area 51 has long captured the public's fascination, prompting a group of curious individuals to venture toward its heavily restricted perimeter. As they neared the boundary, the person recording unexpectedly captured something astonishing on camera, a figure that appeared to resemble an alien standing nearby. Before anyone could fully process what they were seeing or respond to the sighting, the figure abruptly disappeared, seemingly vanishing into thin air and leaving the group stunned and confused. A startling video emerging from the forests of Argentina quickly captured attention, as it appeared to show a UFO descending before releasing a strange figure from within. The being, marked by a pale white body and distinctly non-human features, moved deliberately toward the person filming. As the creature advanced, it suddenly collided with an unseen obstacle, likely a fallen log, an interruption that proved fortunate for the person behind the camera and allowed a narrow chance to escape the unsettling scene. The footage, eerie and unresolved, fueled ongoing speculation about theories surrounding extraterrestrial visitation, reinforcing the belief for many that such encounters may not be confined to fiction alone. A group of researchers made a startling discovery with the unearthing of what became known as the so-called alien mummies of Nazca, found buried deep within diatom mines. The remains consisted of 3 distinct mummified beings, each displaying 3 fingers on their hands, and a range of unusual anatomical features that immediately set them apart from known human forms. The bodies were later presented during a congressional session in Mexico, where scientists conducted X-ray examinations in an effort to better understand their structure and origins. Subsequent analysis confirmed that the remains were organic and had once belonged to living beings that existed on Earth long ago, a conclusion that only deepened the mystery surrounding their true nature and historical context. The scene captures a moment in which an individual noticed an unfamiliar object suspended in the sky and began recording as curiosity took hold. As the camera zoomed in, the object gradually came into sharper focus, revealing a form strikingly similar to the classic depiction of a UFO, with a shape closely resembling the widely recognized image of a flying saucer, making it difficult to dismiss as something ordinary. Rather than moving like a conventional aircraft or behaving in the manner of a typical drone, the object remained hovering in place, adding to the uncertainty surrounding its nature. While some observers suggested it could have been a staged event, a drone, or an elaborate visual trick, others were convinced that the footage captured something far more extraordinary, leaving the sighting suspended between skepticism and belief and firmly rooted in mystery. In the skies above Egypt's ancient pyramids, an unusual and unsettling event appeared to unfold. A mysterious pyramid-shaped object was reportedly seen hovering directly over one of the monumental structures, maintaining a steady position as it slowly rotated in a circular motion, almost as though it were deliberately observing the ancient site below. With sharply defined edges and a form that mirrored the geometry of the pyramid itself, the object bore little resemblance to any known aircraft, giving it an unmistakably otherworldly appearance. Its precise alignment with the pyramid's peak sparked widespread speculation, leaving many to question whether the sighting was merely an extraordinary coincidence or evidence of a deeper and more enigmatic connection. 2 beings believed by some to be connected to the infamous Roswell UFO incident were reportedly discovered, reigniting decades of speculation surrounding the event. The figures appeared to be lying inside ventilator-like capsules, surrounded by an array of wires, giving the impression that they were undergoing medical treatment or sustained care, rather than simple containment. For many observers, the imagery was interpreted as possible evidence of long-suspected government secrecy surrounding the Roswell crash, raising persistent questions about whether these beings were truly linked to the historic incident, and if so, what had been done with them over the years, leaving the mystery unresolved and deeply unsettling. On a fog-laden morning, an unusual object was observed rifting through the sky, moving in a manner that appeared more like effortless floating than conventional flight. Initially obscured by the mist, its identity remained uncertain, but as the camera gradually zoomed in, the object displayed no recognizable features of known aircraft, reinforcing the impression that it was something entirely unfamiliar. Its calm, deliberate movement raised lingering questions about its origin and intent, leaving viewers to wonder not only what the object truly was, but also what purpose it served as it passed silently through the sky. A photographer captured footage of an unusual pill-shaped object moving through the sky, initially appearing as a small glint of light reflecting the afternoon sun, much like a metallic surface catching a brief flash. When the footage was slowed down, the object revealed a series of striking and unexplained behaviors, illuminating at both ends while shifting in color from silver to a warm brass tone, and intermittently flashing with surprising intensity. Recorded in the late afternoon, the slowed imagery provided a clearer and more detailed view of the phenomenon, highlighting just how strange and difficult to explain the object truly appeared to be. High above the mountain range, an unidentified flying object was observed moving steadily across the sky, immediately drawing attention due to an unusual formation directly in its path. A perfectly circular, hollow cloud hovered ahead of it, resembling a portal suspended in mid-air rather than a natural atmospheric phenomenon. As the object approached, it appeared to travel straight toward the center of this ring-like cloud, and within moments it vanished entirely from sight. Almost simultaneously, the strange cloud dissipated just as abruptly, leaving the sky completely clear, as though neither the object nor the formation had ever existed. The sudden disappearance of both elements fueled speculation about whether the sighting represented a passage to an unknown realm, a mystery that remains unresolved. This unusual sighting was recorded in the mountains of Ethiopia, where a flat, disc-shaped object was observed hovering silently in the sky. Local witnesses reported seeing the shiny object glide slowly overhead, moving with a calm steadiness and producing no sound as it crossed the landscape. At one point the object disappeared behind a large mountain, leading observers to believe the sighting had ended, only for it to re-emerge moments later on the opposite side, continuing its slow and deliberate path forward. The absence of any immediate attempt to alert authorities only deepened the mystery, suggesting that disbelief, shock, or overwhelming confusion may have prevented a response, while the encounter itself left behind far more questions than explanations. An astonishing UFO sighting was captured with remarkable clarity, showing a silver metallic object shaped like a classic flying saucer moving smoothly above residential homes. Because of how clearly defined and stable the object appeared, many viewers began to question whether this could be among the most convincing UFO recordings ever documented. The sighting sparked widespread debate and curiosity, inviting continued discussion about what was truly seen in the skies that day. According to widespread speculation, the United States may be attempting to develop its own UFO-like craft, potentially using recovered components from mysterious objects rumored to have crashed on Earth. Over the years, numerous accounts have described secretive programs in which scientists and engineers allegedly analyze this unconventional technology behind closed doors. Supporters of these theories suggest that such projects could explain the strange aerial objects occasionally reported, particularly those that maneuver in ways far beyond the capabilities of known aircraft, leading many to question whether some sightings may actually be glimpses of classified experiments in progress. On a street in Toronto, Canada, a man recorded footage of a large craft flying directly overhead, its silhouette clearly defined against the open sky as it moved with smooth, controlled motion. The camera followed the object for a short distance, maintaining a steady view as it continued on its path. After a brief pursuit, the craft descended and appeared to settle on the ground in the distance, adding an unexpected conclusion to the sighting. The footage itself appeared dated and unrefined, lacking modern visual effects or enhancements, which, combined with the stable framing, gave the encounter an unusually clear and compelling quality for a recording of this kind. Near a parking area in Pittsburgh, a group of young women captured footage of a dark object moving slowly above the roadway, drawing immediate attention as it hovered low over passing cars with an unnerving steadiness. The object appeared solid and completely black, showing no visible lights or defining features that might suggest a conventional aircraft. As it drifted forward with an unfamiliar pattern of movement, it failed to resemble anything the witnesses recognized, leaving them convinced that the sighting could only be described as a UFO. On November 16, 2020, Jerry Marancero uploaded a video recorded at the Grand Canyon in Arizona that appeared to show a strange object floating through the vast landscape. The object, white in color and emitting a faint, steady glow, moved calmly through the canyon without altering its direction or speed. The footage clearly captured its smooth, uninterrupted path as it drifted above the rugged terrain below, while nothing else in the surrounding environment showed signs of movement. Its deliberate motion and subtle illumination stood in stark contrast to the stillness of the canyon, creating a quietly remarkable moment within the expansive and silent setting. What's your take on this? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to check out more interesting content in the top right corner of your screen. One night in Dubai, a resident noticed a bright object cutting through the night sky, immediately drawing attention as it moved across the darkness above the city. The object emitted a strong glow and left behind a long, luminous trail as it descended in a straight downward path, standing out sharply against the familiar urban skyline. After several seconds, the light vanished from view, appearing to land somewhere beyond sight and leaving no visible trace behind. Although the moment passed quickly and without sound, the unusual nature of the sighting contrasted starkly with the calm, routine backdrop of the city at night, making it a brief yet striking event. In Giza, Egypt, during 2020, residents stepped outside after reports began circulating about an unusual phenomenon in the sky. As recording devices were raised, a massive red glow was seen slowly descending, its intensity commanding attention as it moved steadily downward. Moments later, the brilliant light abruptly faded, revealing a distinct object continuing to fall through the air before eventually disappearing from view. Those watching remained silent, attempting to process the unfolding scene, and when it finally vanished, many were left questioning whether the event might have originated far beyond the known world. A leaked video stunned viewers by appearing to show a U.S. missile traveling directly toward a mysterious craft off the coast of Yemen. In the footage, the rocket appeared to strike the object, only to deflect away as if the impact had no effect, while the unidentified craft continued on its path without visible damage. The apparent failure of such advanced weaponry proved deeply unsettling, prompting intense discussion among both the public and some analysts, many of whom interpreted the incident as possible evidence of extraterrestrial technology. Descriptions of the event emphasized the shock of witnessing a Hellfire missile collide with the object and simply bounce away, a moment that intensified speculation and left the true nature of the encounter fiercely debated. Two women were standing outside their home, recording the road from a distance when an unexpected and unsettling event unfolded. A bright object suddenly dropped from the sky, descending rapidly and appearing to crash somewhere nearby, prompting shocked reactions as they struggled to describe what they were seeing, and speculated that it looked as though it had fallen from space. Only minutes later, high-speed jets roared overhead, seemingly deployed to intercept whatever had come down, adding urgency and tension to the scene. Although the footage captured only the falling object and the jets racing past, leaving many details unresolved, the sequence of events made the encounter feel intense and immediate, despite being observed from afar. On the night of October 13, 2014, in Washington, D.C., an unusual crash captured the attention of both police officers and nearby residents, quickly drawing a crowd of curious onlookers. Several patrol vehicles were stationed in the area, as people tried to understand the cause of the disturbance and the source of the commotion. Above them, a large object could be seen glowing intensely as it burned through the dark sky, trailing smoke and fire behind it. The flames illuminated its considerable size, making it appear far larger than anything typically seen overhead, and its presence introduced an unsettling sense of abnormality into what had otherwise been a calm and ordinary night. At White Sands, New Mexico, an observer captured footage of a fast-moving object streaking across the sky, initially appearing as a bright light before abruptly plunging downward. The object struck the ground with force, sending debris outward and kicking up clouds of dust that momentarily engulfed the area. As the event unfolded, the person filming expressed disbelief at what was happening, their reactions underscoring the shock of the moment. The clip ended as suddenly as it began, leaving the scene suspended in a brief burst of chaos and uncertainty, striking enough to compel viewers to replay the footage in search of answers. On November 8, 2019, a man driving near a forest noticed a glowing object burning near the bend of a nearby river, immediately prompting him to pull over and begin recording. The object emitted an intense light and appeared to be resting close to the ground, casting an eerie glow against the surrounding trees. The forest remained completely silent, with no other people visible in the area, which only heightened the strangeness of the moment. The footage documented a brief and rare glimpse of an unexplained phenomenon, lingering quietly among the trees before the scene came to an end. From inside his building, a man recorded the night sky above the Pentagon, initially focusing on the still and uneventful view. As he continued filming, he noticed a faint triangular shape positioned directly over the building, partially obscured by thin clouds and difficult to discern at first, requiring careful observation to make out its form. The object appeared to have 3 distinct sides, resembling a pyramid-like structure, and seemed to rotate slowly along its own axis while remaining suspended in place. Despite its subtle presence, the object stood out against the otherwise calm and unchanging sky, its motionless position and unusual geometry making it increasingly noticeable the longer it remained in view. Leaked footage allegedly originating from Area 51 appeared to show a humanoid figure confined within a tightly controlled environment. The body displayed unusual characteristics, including a rigid, armor-like exterior and an oversized head, while its limited movement suggested some form of restraint rather than natural motion. A separate clip featured a similar figure with more human-like proportions, though it remained just as ambiguous and difficult to interpret. Both recordings were brief and lacked clear context. Yet the controlled handling, restricted setting, and careful framing gave the impression that the scenes were deliberately managed rather than accidental or spontaneous captures. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming journeys. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.